All right, guys, we're back on the crew cab camper build today. Got Hunter helping me some. Kevin's over next door. Wayne's actually under the truck taking the transfer case out. If you guys have not been following along, I'll put a link to all the previous videos in the description below, so you can go back and watch those. I think this is like video number 4 or so. We had a couple more before that, preliminary stuff, but what we're doing, we're sticking a DT466 and the old M36a2. It's actually a long wheelbase version of the M35. So we've got an Allison automatic behind it. You guys notice we've chopped the firewall out a little bit. You guys can see that in the previous video. But today what we're working on motor mounts, because this motor's just kind of dangling in there right now. So we've been figuring out what we're going to do here. I got part drawn up next door. We're going to get cut out in the plasma table. We're actually going to tie into the old multi-fuel engine mount there. So then we get that one tied up, we'll probably pull the cab back off, and we've got to figure out what we're going to do for the mounts on the transmission there. So Wayne's actually taking a transfer case out of a 5-ton truck over there right now, parts truck. And the reason we're going to use a 5-ton transfer case is because it's actually got an overdrive in it, so we can get a little bit better highway speed. So we're hoping to get it out and maybe get it mocked up in there, maybe get some mounts made for it today. So that's the whole goal, of getting everything mounted up and all the mechanical stuff done. And then we got to see about a radiator and that kind of stuff. Then we'll probably get into the body work, adding the crew cab and stuff on there. So you ready to go cut out a piece of steel? Yeah. All right, so over here in the plasma cutter room, this is actually the original mount off the DT466 International. So we're trying to make these mounting holes and ears here. This is actually a cast piece. We did some test welding on it. I don't like the way it welds. You might be able to use it. I thought about cutting it and modifying it, but what I'm planning on doing, we're going to cut out a U-shaped bracket that we can bolt the engine. I'm probably going to cut these tabs off and actually maybe tack those and use those for bosses. We're going to cut this back plate out of 1/2-inch steel, and you guys can see that. We kind of got drawn up there. We're going to use that for our base mount, and then we'll probably make a piece in here, then a couple of ears to come out to tie into the old military multi-fuel mount. So Hunter's got us a piece of 1/2-inch steel up there, and we're going to fire this plasma cutter off and see if she'll work here. Get it? Yeah, I guess. Alright, so what Hunter is doing, whenever we plasma cut, it leaves a little bit of slag on the edge here, so we just knock it off with the belt sander. So we had a little screw up, somebody did. Yeah. So you guys can see I've cut out 1, 2, this makes 3. Yeah. So the first one we cut out wasn't quite right. We had to slide the holes up here a little bit. So I drew a new part up, of course, and I forgot to reload it into the sheet cam to make this thing cut. So we cut the same identical wrong part out again. Yeah. But hey, 3rd time's a charm, right? Yeah. So we're going to take that one over and hopefully it fits, because we don't need to be wasting any more 1/2-inch steel because it's not cheap right now. We'll take it over and see what it does. Alright guys, we got that horseshoe looking piece bolted on the motor, just temporarily on there. Then we got these 2 legs coming off here that we just cut out out of 1/2 inch. I think what we're going to do, we got the motor sitting pretty close where we want it. We're going to get things squared up a little better, and we're going to go ahead and tack that stuff together. And then we're going to figure out, probably put a piece in between here to strengthen all that up, and we got to weld some bosses on here and all that good stuff. So we're gonna get all that done. We'll get it out here. We'll show you what we got going on. All right, we got this brace plate in here. Hunter's got her tacked in good enough so we can get the parts there. You guys can see that under there. We got clearance to get fan belts and all that stuff on there. So we're gonna get this thing off, and we're gonna get everything fully welded, and then we'll put her on there for good. All right, we got the motor mount welded up here. It's a little warm. Got her all welded. We do have to add 2 ears, so we cut these ears off of the old original International DT466 mount. Those are on there. Hunter actually bead blasted them. So what we're going to do, we're going to put this back in the truck again, get everything bolted up. We're going to bolt these through, and then we'll tack these to a piece we made here. Then we'll pull it back out of the truck and fully weld those, and then the front mount should be done. Alright, got those all welded on. That ought to be more than substantial. What do you think, Hunter?
Yeah.
I think it'll work just fine. So we're going to bolt this on the truck, on the motor there. Then we'll get the cab off and move it along to the back. Alright, so we got that bolted in there for good. Got everything welded up on that front mount. Hunter's actually set the cab off here already. Got it over there. So we've got the motor transmission all centered up in the chassis, and what we've got to do is get from point A to point B down here. So the cab actually sits right here on this frame, so we can't come over the top of the frame, but we did find out this is actually the frame mount from the other side over there, and we can actually stick it in here. If you see those 4 holes there, it actually lines up. It's the same bolt pattern. So what we're going to do is actually bolt this left-hand motor mount in the right side, and it's going to kick it over here. And then I think the reason we got to do that, because we got to keep this hole open. We got coming at an angle. We got to keep that hole open so we can get that cab mount bolt. So on the other side, we're going to use the opposite mount over here. We're actually going to have to re-drill some holes, drill some new holes. So we're going to slide it on the back side of this cab mount over here. And then I'll make a bracket that will angle back over to this. So it's kind of flip-flop reverse the other side. So if we tried to use that mount here on this way, it's going to interfere with our dipstick tube and starter and all that stuff. So we're basically kind of flip-flopping mounts around on the frame. And then we'll get those all drilled in here, bolted up. And then we'll do some deciphering and figure out the upper mounts. Alright guys, we got the frame mounts in. We got the passenger side in and the driver's side. They're actually just flip-flopped. I actually went ahead and made this motor mount here. I got it all welded up there, you guys can see. And I'm getting ready to try to fasten her up here. We did test fit this earlier. Hunter, I think we're going to take the forklift up a little bit. Let's see if she'll fit in there. All right, I got my super sweet drawing here. You guys can see that. We're gonna draw it. I'm gonna cut this out a 1/2 inch, make this a little bit stronger since it's bridging over here. We're gonna come over to the bracket and then the ear. And I'm gonna do a couple gussets here, probably a little triangle one here, then maybe one running back at an angle here to make that a little stronger so it don't flex that way. I don't think it's gonna be an issue, but it's always better to overbuild and underbuild it. So we're gonna take this over to the plasma cutter computer. try to get this drawn up. Been teaching Hunter how to use it, so he's somewhat got it figured out, don't you? All right, we're gonna get this drawn up and try to cut her out. All right, so Hunter's got, I don't know if you guys can see it, got the left-hand motor mount kind of drawn out there. Kind of looks like our template here. I scribbled out. You guys can see that. Does it look like it?
Yeah, I think so.
So we're going to use this triangle here, if you can see it, for a brace on this side, and this is going to be the strut. It's going to go from here over here to kind of stiffen that up sideways. So we're going to send it over to our sheet cam program, which talks to the plasma table, tells it what to do, and then we'll cut them out. Alright, I got that motor mount cut out. Hunter got her cleaned up and I got her bolted up. Got her all tacked in there. I think that ought to be sufficient. Be able to bolt her dipstick tube back up here when we get all done. So I'm going to pull that out and weld her all up real good, and then we'll bolt her up. And hopefully this motor will be sitting in here. Alright, got that motor mount all welded up. Got her put back on there. I think it turned out pretty good. The only thing I'm seeing, it might be an issue. This may be hitting in the cab floor here a little bit. We may have to cut this and modify this down a little bit, but that's not a huge deal if we gotta do that. So next thing we're gonna do, Wayne's actually working on that still. We had some parts come in for a dozer, so we had to jump off some other projects, but he's over there taking the transfer case out at 5-ton. So I think it's gonna be the next thing we drop in here. Probably gonna have to move this cross member back. We'll have to see how that fits in there. I'm sure that one's in the way. We may have to slide it forward up here actually. We'll see what's going on. That was the original cross member. It was up here, so we might put that one back in if it's a little stronger or something. We'll see what the difference is in them. But anyway, it's Christmas Eve here. This video will probably come out in January. We're gonna be shut down for a week, so more than likely you guys won't see me till next year, but we'll finish up the video of mounting that transfer case and stuff up. So I think that's about it for right now, and then we'll be back here getting a transfer case sit in, won't we, Hunter?
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys. All right, guys, we're on the road. I got my special friend here with us today, Mr. Kevin. We've been working on the Army truck this morning. I didn't get any footage on it. We pulled that 5-ton transfer case out of the other truck, and unfortunately, it did not look like it was going to fit too well. So we kind of had a spur of the moment trip here. We're going up to look at a couple international trucks. So this guy's got that have the Allison 6-speed automatics, got double overdrives in them. The electronic version, but it's behind a mechanical motor, so we don't really know what we're getting into. I was trying to stay out of this situation, but they just kind of popped up on Facebook Marketplace, so definitely gotta go look at them. It's gotta be good.
It's gotta be good.
So we're on our way up to Crawfordsville to go look at a couple pieces of junk. We got the semi with us today, so
Gonna be great.
We're pretty serious if we're driving a semi. So we're gonna be looking for the transmission out of them is what we're looking for. So we may just end up buying one truck, both trucks, we don't know. So we'll use what parts we need, then get rid of the rest of them. So
go get some of them Mustangs out there.
Full Fox bodies.
Yeah.
So we're gonna head on up here and see what kind of cluster we're getting into. All right, we got a couple. What would you call them? Monster trucks on the trailer. I don't know if you guys. We got a couple monster. Well, one's a monster truck.
Yeah.
We didn't need the one with the big tires.
Yeah,
but it looked cool. So
yeah, we did.
When we get back, we'll give you guys a walk around of what kind of junk we picked up here. Alright guys, so me and Kevin made it back with the truck last night. It got dark too late, so I couldn't show you what was going on. It gets light this morning. We'll jump out there and check out the truck. So this was a 5-ton transfer case that we pulled out of the truck that was sitting over there. As you can see, the output shaft is on the left side, which we knew this before we pulled it out, but we was hoping to clock that thing around that way. After having it in there, turned around, we seen it just wasn't going to work. We was worried about a couple things on here, about the oil. This is actually an oil pump. It picks oil up. But it not getting oil in the right places. I've seen people turn them, clock them straight down, and even doing that, there was no way to get to this front differential up over there where it's sitting at. So that is the reason we took off yesterday. I seen a truck pop up on Facebook Marketplace that had the 6-speed Allison 3060 transmission. It actually has 2 overdrives. So if you guys been watching these videos, you know we're hurting for top speed. So we was trying to get overdrive out of that 5-ton transfer case. So that's why we pulled it out, trying to make it work, but it did not. So that's part of the fun of these projects, isn't that right? So little did we know yesterday, this truck just popped up on Facebook Marketplace, and next thing you know, we're in Crawfordsville, Indiana, looking at a truck. So when we got there, the guy actually had 2 trucks. We only need 1 truck, but we couldn't pass up the deal, could we?
It was a deal.
It was a deal. We don't really need the one. We got one with big tires out there. We'll show you. It's actually an ex-fertilizer truck or something like that. So, but the big tires kind of drew Kevin in. So anyway, and I don't know, those trucks out there, one has a blown motor, the other one supposedly has a good motor in it. It's a little bit newer version of the 466. It's still a mechanical motor, so I'm not sure if we're going to use this motor or just swap the tranny. The motor mount should all be the same that we spent all this time making, so we hope anyway. Anyway, we'll go outside there once it gets daylight and we'll show you what we got and go from there. Alright guys, so here's the load we picked up yesterday. It's actually daylight now, sun's breaking. Super cold out this morning. We're not used to this. It was like 70s last week. It's crazy. Anyway, I seen this pop up on Facebook Marketplace yesterday. This truck here, it said it had a blown motor in it. It's got a DT530, but it did have the Allison automatic transmission in it that we needed. So I called the guy and talked to him, and we headed up there to go look at it. They also had another truck too, so what he done, he blowed that motor up and he bought this one. I think this was an old dump truck out of Ohio. He's going to take the motor out of this one. It's got a 466 in it, put in this truck and fix it. That was what did he tell us, a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Anyway, his project never happened. This was sitting in his garage for a couple years. This used to be an old fertilizer spreader truck. It's why it's got the big old gravedigger tires on, as Kevin calls it. So we actually only probably just needed this truck here. Well, I kind of worked the package deal out, and we're kind of a sucker for big tires and thought it looked cool. Don't really know why I come home with two, but that's part of the fun of Facebook Marketplace. We had to fill the trailer up anyway, so I think our plans are we're going to get everything unloaded. I think we're going to leave this truck alone. This truck's pretty rusty and everything. It was an old snowplow truck. You guys can see we actually had to take the batteries out. There's like no battery box left. The batteries are just hanging out, so we took those out to him in the cab yesterday. But the old truck's pretty rusty. Supposedly it runs and everything. Got the little bit newer version of the 466. It's still mechanical. It does have the transmission we're looking for. So I think what we're going to do is unload that one for now. Maybe we'll do something cool with it, sell it, I don't know. Said the motor is blown. And we'll get that one off, probably put it in the shop, get it running, make sure everything's working on it all right. If it is, we'll decide if we're going to use that whole motor and transmission combo and take that other one out. That's the fun part about projects. You never know what you're getting into, so it's one step forward and 2 steps back, but we'll figure it out eventually. But now we have a double overdrive transmission out for 6-speed, so
We're gonna take this around the track.
we like those 66-inch tall gravedigger tires. Is that gonna look good on your Crown Vic? Yeah, your Crown Vic's not happy. So yeah, we didn't need this truck whatsoever really, but we couldn't pass up the tires. What we paid for both these trucks, it cost as much to replace these 4 tires. So. Anyway, we're gonna get this crap unloaded. Alright, so we got everything unchained. Kevin's getting the last chain off. What he's actually going to do is take that forklift and pull this truck back a little bit. We've got the brakes uncaged. So all these trucks have air brakes. You guys can see that rod in that brake chamber. It's got that spring release, so the truck actually will roll freely right now. But I've got my winch cable on in front of the truck right there. You guys can see that. Got my winch controller out here, and we'll actually run that winch out and let that truck off easy. Is the plan anyway. No, that's the wrong way. Have to get Kevin on there, and he can pull her back a little bit. I'm getting the other side, the sun's shining over here. You need a bolt in there?
Looks like we're ready to party right now.
Yeah, my winch is a little cold. Put that bolt in there. I'm gonna see what my winch is doing. My controls are a little stiff. You'll have that when it's like 20 degrees out. So this actually runs a little hydraulic valve over there, and since it's cold and sticky this morning, it doesn't want to go right back to neutral exactly. I should have moved to Florida, I guess.
Did you get it, Terry?
You need more speed, bub. Might be that frost. Now we're going for it. Get a run for it and hook her. You didn't go up quick enough. Got her. All right. Did you lose it? You got her. I think I got her now. Let that off nice and easy. Them some big old tires. So, you know, we had a bunch of comments on the picture I put on YouTube yesterday, Kevin.
For what?
People's wanting to know what we should do with this truck.
How awesome these tires are?
They're like taller than you.
Yeah.
I think somebody said we need to make a mud bogging truck or pull truck.
Put them under a Ford Ranger.
Yeah, put them under a Ford Ranger. Hey, we stopped rolling.
I know, but look at these tires.
We need some more forklift assistance. You guys let us know in the comments down below what you think we ought to do with this truck. Like I said, the motor's blown, but you got some pretty cool tires there. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Maybe a project for the summer, or next winter or something. We'll see. Kevin's gonna help it out a little bit more. A little faster. All right, I think I got it again. We'll get this off on the level ground. I'll probably get the big forklift over and just get on the back of it. And we're gonna put this truck, park it for now. Like I say, it's hopefully don't need any parts off of it. If you guys have any ideas what we ought to do with it, definitely let me know down below. I'm gonna get this run out the rest of the way. And then we'll repeat the process on this one. We're gonna put this one inside the shop and see if we can't get it going here in a little bit. All right, guys, got the blue International in the shop here, letting her warm up. So this one's got the 466 in it too. It's an old snowplow truck, like I was telling you. It does have the Allison automatic transmission. You guys can see the shifter up there. Let's see what kind of miles we got on this dude. What's it saying? Get up here. 41,000 miles and 6,200 hours, which is not very many if those are original. Being it's a snowplow truck, it could be possible. So I think our plan is we're going to throw some batteries in the ghost battery box over there and try to get it running. I think this video is getting pretty long, so we're probably going to cut her short here, and then the next video we'll start on this here motor, see if we can get it running, going, see what's going on with it. If it's a good runner and stuff, we may stick it in that truck over there. We'll have to see what goes on with that. So if you guys like this kind of stuff, be sure to like the video, subscribe, and definitely leave some comments below what we should do with that big old monster truck out there. I'm looking forward to some comments, and we'll see you guys next time.